Today is a very, very holy day. Today, historically, is the day, the first record we have in history. Joshua was beginning the conquest of the land of Israel, and he went to battle in the valley of Givon. And what happened was, the sun wanted to set. And Joshua didn't want the sun to set because Joshua wanted to finish up the battle. And if the sun set, it would be drastic, it would be terrible for his battle strategy. So what did he do? He prayed to Hashem, and the sun stood still. This is a very powerful lesson. Because even though the sun was supposed to set, even though the sun was supposed to go down, but the sanctity, the holiness of the day prevailed. And because the sanctity, the holiness of the day prevailed, therefore the sun did not set. And the whole idea of Gimmel Tammuz is that the sun doesn't set, that the sun remains intact because we have a mission, we have a purpose, we have a duty, we have a purpose. And we can't let the sun go down, because when you're on a mission, the sun has to stay blazing. And there's no room whatsoever for the sun to set. So today, historically, is a very great day because the sixth Rebbe was supposed to be executed today. The sixth Rebbe fought the evil Russians. And the sixth Rebbe, he refused to give up, and he refused, in the face of tremendous pressure, to tell them where all the secret mikvahs and schools and underground institutions. And the sixth Rebbe, the day of his sentence was on Gimmel Tammuz, and a miracle happened, and the first rabbi of the state of Israel, his name was Rabbi Avraham Yitzchak Kook, he proclaimed this day a miracle. And anyone who is familiar with the history of this day knows very well that there is no way that the sixth Rebbe, one man, one rabbi, overpowered physically and overpowered with brute strength, and the bullies of the Russian government were not able to buckle him, were not able to force him into submission. And he, even though he was physically a prisoner, his entire stay, his entire ordeal, incarcerated in jail, was only physically, it was never spiritually, he was never the prisoner. They held up a gun to his temple, to his forehead, and they said, this little toy has made a lot of people talk. This little toy, I think you should take us seriously, and you should tell us where your secret underground of all of the Jewish resources which you have established, you should tell us where they are, and you should tell us, because you are our prisoner. And the sixth Rebbe didn't flinch, and he said, your little toy can only scare someone who has one world and many gods. But I have one God and two worlds, and I'm not scared of your little toy. When a person understands and a person appreciates that the world isn't a jungle, that there's accountability, that we are in a position where we have to understand that God is active in creation. And God isn't just active, but God controls every single moment. If God didn't want there to be a world, there wouldn't be a world. And this day breathes with the understanding and with the appreciation that Yesh Balabayas Labira Zu, there is a owner. This world is not just a free-for-all, and you can do whatever you want, but there is accountability and there's a higher authority, which we need to listen to. So although painfully, on this day, 26 years ago, and then Rabbi Kaplan will speak about his personal involvement. You know, the Rabbi Kaplan was very blessed to have a Yechidus private audience with the Rebbe on several occasions. And the whole idea, 26 years ago, there were critics, there were people who were sharpening their pencils to, God forbid, write the obituary of the Lubavitch movement. And people thought that, listen, the Rebbe is the engine, the Rebbe is the one who keeps the entire movement alive, pulsating with vitality and with purpose and with drive. And if the Rebbe physically passes away, then this is the demise. It's over. Chabad is going away. The time has come, and Chabad is going away. And they were prepared for, God forbid, the death, the destruction of the Rebbe's work. But God had other plans, and the sun did not set. What does that mean, the sun didn't set? That Hashem kept the sun blazing. And even though physically the Rebbe wasn't here in this world, but like it says in Tanya, a tzaddik isn't limited by the physical world. And a tzaddik can do things beyond a physical body. That doesn't mean that it's not painful, that it's not horrible, that even though a tzaddik is more alive in the world after his demise, it's difficult, it's painful, it hurts. In the Hayom Yom of the 26th day of the month of Sivan, it says that the children of Korach did not die, that even though they went into a pit alive, even though they were swallowed up by the ground, but there was a special place for them, and they did not die, they did not perish. And the whole idea of life is that you can make a difference. So the Rebbe, even though physically he left this physical world, but nevertheless he's still making not an incredible difference to so many lives, and that's the barometer, that's how you measure life, by the difference we make. A lot of people are physically alive, but they're really not physically alive, because if you don't leave a good impression, then you're dead. But some people are physically not here, but they inspire us to make a difference. They inspire us to do more good, to make the world better. And that is the measurements of life. But when it comes to the children of Korach who ended up doing tshuva, but they were swallowed up by the ground, the Hayom Yom is saying that as long as they're alive, they can make a difference. So of course, you know, the Rebbe is making a huge impact 26 years, even after his physical departure from this world. But it's still very painful, very difficult for us that you can't see the Rebbe, you can't speak to the Rebbe. You could speak like you speak to a soul of someone who you can go to the oil, you can go visit the oil. But the fact that that you can't have a physical exchange is difficult. It's painful. It's very, very hard. So there was once a chassid, a student, and his name was Rabbi Klatskin. That was his name. He came from a city of Pressburg. That is a city in Czechoslovakia. It's called Bratislava today. And this Rabbi Klatskin, he went to the Tzemach Tzedek, the third Lubavitcher Rebbe. And he went to the third Rebbe. And when he went to the third Rebbe, he said, Rebbe, give me a bracha. Rebbe, please, please, give me a bracha. And the Rebbe gave him a bracha. And he missed hearing a Maimah Hasidic discourse. So he said, Rebbe, in his private audience, he said, can you give me a Maimah? Can you say a Maimah for me? You're a Rebbe, I'm a student, and I missed the Hasidic discourse. Can you say it over for me? The Rebbe told him, go to Hillel Paracha, go to this famed chassid, and when you go to this famed chassid, he will give you a blessing. So, what happened was, this Klatskin, he had big chutzpah, you forgive me, but he told the Tzemach Tzedek, he told the third Rebbe, he said, why should I go to Hillel Paracha? Hillel Paracha is a cliche. There's laws on Shabbos, you're not allowed to cook. Now, we have tea on Shabbos. How do we have tea? We take water from the urn, and then we pour it into another cup. So then we put the tea bag inside the water. In a Kli Rishon, in the actual original pot, the cup, the vessel, you're not allowed to cook. But if you take the water from the urn and you pour it into another cup, now it's not the original vessel, it's a derivative, and then you're allowed to put the tea back inside. So the question is, this Klatskin told the third Rebbe, he says, why should I go to Hillel Paracha? Why can't I go from you? Because Hillel Paracha is a cliche. Here's the second cup. I want to get it from the source. I don't want to go to Hillel Paracha to get it. I want to hear it from you. You're the Rebbe. So the Rebbe, the Tzemach Tzedek, the third Rebbe, told this Klatskin. He said, he may be a cliche, he may be a second cup, but you have to know and you have to realize that he's Yad Saledus boy. That when you have a second cup, which is very hot, you can burn yourself. That's considered Yad Saledus boy. You can be burnt. And therefore, because you can be burnt, therefore, it's as if it's a cliche, it's a Kli Rishon, even though it's a second cup. So Chassidim have to realize and have to appreciate that although it's very painful, and it's very difficult, and not to be able to see the Rebbe with your physical eyes is painful and hard, and to have a whole generation of people who don't know the Rebbe through seeing him, it's not easy. It's very, very hard. The Rebbe's father, the word Rebbe stands for Rosh B'nai Yisrael. He is the head of all the Jewish people. That's Rebbe stands for. And he is our spiritual father, and he is the one who pumps life and spirituality enthuses our lives with a sense of vitality and happiness and joy. And to grow up in a generation where physically you can't see the Rebbe, it's not easy. You can go to the oil, and the oil is a very, very holy place, but it's still not the same. So the third Rebbe told this chassid, even though I'm telling you to go to Hillel Paracha, and he's not the Rebbe, but you want to know something? He's Yad Saledus boy, his warmth, his joy. And because it's not about him, it's about something far greater than him. It's about representing the Meshaleach, the Rebbe, the one who sent Hillel Paracha, and he's warm and he's vibrant. Therefore, halachically, it has the law of being like a Kli Rishon and being as if the Rebbe actually said, this is what you need to do, and here to hear the Maimer from the Kli Sheni, which Yatzaledis boy is like a Kli Rish. So what does that mean? That means we have to be warm. It means that we have to care. It means we have to show concern. That when there's another Jew who has a problem, who's in pain, it's not a stranger, but it's in fact you. And the Tzemach Tzedek, one time someone asked him, he was going to Petersburg, to the capital of Russia, and someone asked him, he said, you're standing up with the Russian government, they're going to kill you. If they kill you, it's not smart, because who's going to take care of your Hasidim? They need you. So it's not a point that you're being selfish, that you're doing something. The Hasidim need you alive. The Russian government will kill you. So he answered. He said, two answers. First of all, I have children. Second of all, even if I didn't have children, the Hasidim have each other. And when you have unity, when you have oneness, and when you have Hasidim, which united have Achdus, that gives hope and that gives strength. The Tzemach Tzedek said that takes the place of the Tzemach Tzedek when all the Hasidim realize that they're not alone, and that another Chasid's problem is their problem. And the only reason Hashem, God, gave them certain things is so they could take those things and use them for other people. And this is what Gimmel Tammuz, this is what today is all about. And we have to realize, and we have to appreciate, and we have to understand that we are never alone, and that physically, even though, we don't see God either, but we know that God exists, and we know that God is involved in our lives and in creation. And so too we have to know that the system that God created was V'yaminu b'Hashem v'Moshe avdei, that you should believe in God and Moshe, his servant. So it says in the Torah, that to have a Moshe Rabbeinu is integral. To have a Moshe Rabbeinu who loves us and who cares about us and directs us. Because the Rebbe was not about himself. The Rebbe was absolutely not about himself. The Rebbe was about Klal Yisrael. When there was a Jew in pain, when they threw out the Jews from Yamit and they evicted them, the Rebbe was screaming, wow, he didn't live there, what does he have to worry about? But those Jews were his Jews. Their pain was his pain. Because the heart is connected, and the heart pumps blood to the rest of the Jewish people. And this is our mission, and this is our purpose, to realize that we're all interconnected. This is our mission, this is our purpose, to realize that we're never, ever, ever alone. That even though darkness sometimes is difficult and painful, and it envelops us, and sometimes, chas v'shalom, unfortunately, we can feel scared, but we have to know that pain is real, but fear is imaginary. And we have to know that we're really not alone, that we have God in our lives. We have a Rebbe, a father, a spiritual father in the heavens above. And the more we emphasize, and the more we learn the Rebbe's Torah, and the Rebbe's whole Torah, actually the Hayom Yom, the saying of the day for today, is that a kretz, a moan, even though a physical moan, how much more so a spiritual moan, when a Jew has, that is tremendous tshuva, that is tremendous amount of spiritual awakening and awareness. Because when a Jew has pain and a Jew realizes that there's a problem, knowing that there's a problem, knowing that the world is messed up and it shouldn't be the way it's supposed to be, knowing all of that, that is part of the cure. And when we understand and we appreciate that the world which we see is not the way it should be, and we say 3 times a day in our prayers that we should see the return to Jerusalem, and it should be with mercy. The Jewish people should actually be in the Beis Hamikdash. It shouldn't be just, nice spiritual and nice mentally and nice in theory, but it should be in actuality. The Jew needs it, the Golus, the exile should hurt the Jew. that things aren't the way they're supposed to be. When a person knows they're sick, they can go get help. When a person thinks that everything's okay and it's business as usual, and there's no reason why we have to push and try harder, and we can't give up on each other, on another Jew, we have to realize, we have to appreciate that each and every one of us is integral, is irreplaceable, and that a Jew in pain is a Jew that is our pain. And even though we have physical different bodies, but that's only physically, but spiritually, we are one, and spiritually, we are all charged with the holy mission to finish up Golus, to finish up exile. And the word Golus, exile, it's, if you add an aleph, you get Geula. And the Rebbe explains that what does it mean to add an aleph? That the word aleph stands for, it's an acronym, it stands for loftiest, the one God. So you take Golus and you bring God into Golus and you reveal Hashem in the world. When we take out the Torah, the Torah is hidden, but when we take out the Torah on Shabbos, we take it out, we reveal God in the world. When we take out the Torah, we reveal Hashem, God, in the world. That's what we reveal. And when we take out the Torah on Shabbos, there's beautiful passages which speak about how we're going to see Hashem. We're going to see God. God isn't going to be abstract, but God is going to be something you can see, can appreciate. And that our eyes, we say in Davening that we should, that our eyes should be returned, we should see our return to Israel. So that's where a Jew really ultimately belongs. And even though Golus, it exists, and even though maybe we could have nice homes, and even though maybe all the trappings of exile are very exciting and very alluring, and it's a facade, and we can be very excited by these trappings. But nevertheless, we have to understand and we have to appreciate that's all it is. That's all it is. It's just a veneer. It's a fake world. The world isn't real, and the world looks pretty candy, but deep down inside, it's not. Our mission isn't to say no to the world. Our mission is to take the world and put Hashem, put Aleph, God, into the world. And when we put Aleph, God, into the world, we reveal that the truth of the world is all about God, and the truth of the world is all about spirituality. And the truth of the world is that this is all one big test. And that our mitzvah is real. That's currency which is real. You know, when it comes to, I don't want to go on and on, but when it comes to angels, angels are very lofty. There are 3 levels of angels. There are 4 worlds. There are no angels in the world of Atzilus, because in the world of Atzilus, it's Eitzel, it's next to God. There's no room for creation. In the world of Bria, the second world, that's where God created the world. So in Bria, you have very high angels called Seraphim. The reason why they're called Seraphim is because they get burnt up. Why do they get burnt up? And why did they say Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh 3 times? The reason is because they say Shira, and when they think about the level of Atzilus, which is higher than themselves, they can't handle it, and they get zapped, and the thinking about God only lasts for 4 hours. So that's why they say it 3 times, and the 3 times they say it, that's all. That's their period of 12 hours. They can handle it, and then they're not in existence. So there are 3 types of angels in this world of Bria. One says Kaddish, one says Kaddish, Kaddish, and another one says Kaddish, Kaddish, Kaddish. And this happens every 4 hours. Because when they realize how everything is so holy and so spiritual, it's too intense, they can't handle it. And that's where the angel Michal and the angel Gavriel, that's where they are. Then you have Chayes HaKodesh, and the Chayes HaKodesh are in the worlds of Yetzirah. Now, the world of Yetzirah, after you have creation, Bria, then you have the world of Yetzirah. And the world of Yetzirah, it's already starting being formed. It's already starting to be formed. And because it's already starting to be formed, therefore, the world of Yetzirah, it's emotions. It's not intelligence. The world of Bria is seichel, is intelligence. The world of Yetzirah is emotions. That's basically where the angels hang out. Chayes HaKodesh, they're very holy, but all it is spirituality. It's more emotions. In the world of Asiya, that's the lowest angels. They're the Yofanim. And these angels, the Yofanim, they are the lowest angels. And the two lowest angels, the Yofanim, and additionally, the Chayes HaKodesh, they make Rash Gadol. They make a big, big noise. Why do they make a big, big noise? You know why they make a big noise? Because when nobody's home, when it's just emotion, you make a big noise. But in the world of Bria, where they're intellectually inclined, and in the world of Bria, where they think about God, in the world of Bria, which is spiritual world, in the world of Bria, which is a spiritual world, it's about intelligence. Intelligent people don't make a big noise. But in the world of Yetzirah, in the world of Asiya, they're lower, it's more emotional, and therefore they make a big, big noise. And what do they say in these lower worlds? Baruch K'vod Hashem Kaimei, blessed be Hashem, His glory, Hashem Kaimis. It says in Chassidus that if you take the Rashi Tevis of the words Baruch K'vod Hashem Kaimei, it stands for Boichem, they cry. Why they cry? They cry because they realize how far away they are from God. So at least they realize that's all passion, because they realize that they're far away from Hashem, and when you realize that you're far away from Hashem, you cry because you can't handle the situation. That's why you cry. Baruch K'vod Hashem Kaimei stands for Boichem. They cry. These two different types of angels cry out because it's very hard. It's very painful. And this is the whole idea. This is the whole idea that, yeah, we have emotions. Maybe we're not all intellectual. We're in the physical low world. But you want to know something? Even though we have pain, even though we cry out, and we mean it, and we appreciate that sadly we're far away. But nevertheless, at least we cry out, at least we turn up, at least we're on the page. And that's what the angels are great, and they're very, very holy. But the angels aren't as great as we are. Because angels are referred to as oimdim. They stand. Angels stand. Why do they stand? Because they're only in one place. They can't have free choice to overcome their problems, and therefore they're only in one place. But a human being who has the ability to choose good and bad, and chooses to do good, the human being who overcomes their base tendencies, that human being is a mahalach. That human being is, wow, in a low course, physical world, where we have so many hang-ups and so many impulses and so much shtusim, and there's so many distractions. And the distractions we have, that's all they are. They are distractions. They are distractions. They get in the way. Our mission, our purpose is to bring Mashiach, to reveal God in the world. And God is hidden in the world. We want to be able to see God. We want to be able to appreciate God. You'll tell me that spiritually everything's great, but it's not enough. We need to see God. We need to feel God. We need to appreciate God. And therefore, that we cry out. And maybe we're not so intellectual, just like the angels, and we do barash gadol, we scream out. But that's a good thing, because at least we're alive and at least we're on the page, at least we know and we appreciate the situation. But a person who just thinks, hey, the world is a reality, and everything in the world is the way it's supposed to be, and everything in the world is the real reality. I see it, I can touch it. That's a problem. And we have to know that we become the Rebbe's feet. We become the Rebbe's hands. That when we run to do a mitzvah, when we run to help another yid, we're the Rebbe's feet. And when we go and we give something to someone else, we forget about ourselves and we make room for someone else, our hand becomes the Rebbe's hand. And we have an awesome responsibility, because if the Rebbe, if he is the one who is the general, and he is on a higher plane than we are spiritually, and he can see things that we can't see. He saw that the Russia was going to be disbanded, and he was the one, and even Gorbachev said, when the Rebbe said that it was going to happen, and the Jews in Israel, this is a fact, this is a historical fact, the Jews in Israel should get ready, because there's going to be an outpouring of Russian Jews. Even Gorbachev at that time, they asked Gorbachev, he said he didn't know that was going to happen. But the Rebbe saw things that we can't see, because the Rebbe's higher up on the mountain. And because the Rebbe's higher up on the mountain, therefore, the Rebbe tells us that, hey, we did our time. Jews have suffered so much. Golus is so painful. The fact that people can live and grow up in a world in which God is hidden, and with the shtusim, and when the world has so many distractions and has so many silly things which get in the way, our mission, our purpose is to break through that, to break through the exile, the veil of darkness, and we have to reveal Hashem. We have to put the aleph into Golus. And we have to, and it's okay that we cry out. It's okay that we scream, and perhaps it's not the intellectual thing, but it's the emotional thing. But whatever it is, at least we're doing something. So we have to know, l'chaim, that we're not alone, that we're in this world to make a difference, and that we can, we will, and we must prevail. And I want to ask, the reason why I'm in Columbus, Ohio, is because 29 years ago, Rabbi Chaim Kaplan gave me a chance to join the Rebbe's army, and I'm eternally grateful and thankful to him for this very humbling experience of being part of, hopefully, a foot soldier, trying to make a difference and trying to represent the Rebbe. So.